It is a very good historical site because it's been here for nearly like 900 years or something. Every bit you look at it actually looks like an area of time. The schools, pauperies, hospitals, tanneries. You have to know the history to understand this building a little bit.
We were faced with some difficult choices about what to do with the building. It is in a fairly out-of-the-way place. We had lots of repair work to do to it, and along came the Marlowe Theatre with a project to revive it, which was brilliant.
So back in 2017, the Marlowe received funding from the National Lottery Heritage Fund to deliver the Pioneering Places programme at the Kit. We were exploring how we might use this extraordinary heritage building to work with young people in the community. The vision was to use the performing arts to create a conversation between the heritage of the building and the creative lives of the young people in the community and revitalise this neglected corner of the city. Canterbury has a rich literary heritage, and this building has been a contemporary of all of these amazing writers. So we created an exhibition on 3 radical writers with strong links to the city. The trailblazing female playwright Aphra Behn, Canterbury's most famous son Christopher Marlowe, and the Heart of Darkness writer Joseph Conrad. Our youth company produced 2 of Aphra Behn's plays, and we hosted our very successful monthly poetry slam, Lickety Spit.
So many people had no idea what it was like, and then you'd open the door and it'd be like the great hall with the lights and the stage, and you just see people's faces light up, and you really sort of could feel the sense of stories that had happened there before. Did you see how the tannery weathered hides? Rubbing animal skin in fat, dung and brains, I guess they clocked early on the power of sticking your hands in memories and processing remains.
Another thing we did was to develop a carousel of creative workshops for schools to find out what schools want from us as a theatre and as a heritage location. So what was it that we could help to enhance those teachers' learning and those young people's experiences in school?
Having somewhere like the Kit, I mean, it brings history alive, doesn't it? You come here and it has, it's been open to the public, but I don't think any of our children ever came here. But now you've got an opportunity to go somewhere that's got real history, that's part of their lives, and it's just had a profound effect on our young people. Theatre allows people to problem solve, it allows them to make mistakes and then to get through that and to develop resilience with working as a group. It means that people can have confidence.
2, 1. Blow your... Oh, God.
Alright, what happens? You made a mistake.
I think it's brilliant to be able to come in a fantastic old building like this with so much history right in the centre of Canterbury. It's become a really important educational resource for us. They feel it's one of their teaching spaces now almost, because they're used to coming here and they feel really comfortable, and they know that every time they come here they're going to have a really good time.
So this project was also a key building block in developing our relationships with further educational colleges, specifically East Kent College. We explored how we could work collaboratively to develop the skills in young people and create a pathway into our industry.
Everything we do is about the student's destination, and those skills they've learned along with the Marlowe, those professional engagements, that employer engagement is so important.
All of this activity was taking place here, so the number of people experiencing it and enjoying it multiplied, by 10. Having done that, we've had to kind of regroup and say, okay, if there's a long-term future for the Kit, what would it be? And it was actually young people who told us what to do, in that they said, no, we love this building. This is our building.
I used to think that heritage buildings were just old buildings full of nothing. But this building, the Kit, it's home. The old feeling inspires you.
It's like it was made in Shakespeare's time. It's like I'm here and I've got him right here, hello.
I know a lot about Canterbury history, and then when you come here to the building, when you do the plays and the literature we read, you feel very rooted.
So one of the legacies of the Pioneering Places project was the large-scale consultation we did with young people and stakeholders in our community about the future of this building. And what was exciting was when we were asking those young people what they thought the connection was, that of all of those things they were telling us the connection was community.
There was things here like people, stories,
life never stops in this building.
Yeah.
For a very short period it's owned by one person. And then it becomes what? It becomes a bit more of a...
It becomes the community building that is used by...
Yeah.
We've been working with young people on a project that we're calling Youth Voice, making sure that they are at the centre of everything we do, giving them the opportunity to really give us their views And that included talking to architects and heritage consultants and really entering to those conversations with real professionalism and questions and confidence.
When we were talking to Sarah, there was lots of interaction. It was really fun to ask questions, and it was amazing because she knew the answer to all of them. And then Guy came in and he was talking to us about the architecture, and we could see the plans.
It's just such an amazing opportunity to really have our voices heard and be really part of a change, to really be able to make a difference to some place so special.
Through the work we've done in this building so far, what we've seen is the incredible impact it's had on our young people and the potential impact it could have on our wider community.
We want to establish it as the KIT, the Marlowe's Learning Centre, but also with a heritage offer that we can open up to everybody.
It's so steeped in history, and it's had a lot of kind of alterations over time, and some of them may not have been the most sympathetic to its listing. And I just felt that there was this marvellous opportunity to take the building back to its essence. What we'll end up with, hopefully, is a diversity of space for rehearsals, for young people, for youth theatre, but equally the building has the opportunity to open itself to the public as well. And we're going to do that by creating a cafe here. Also, the Great Hall will make a wonderful venue space for events.
The years of the Pioneering Places project have really shown us the power of a local authority and a performing arts institution coming together with a regeneration agenda.
It's not just the regeneration of this building, but it's the regeneration of this part of the city, and certainly from my point of view that's what this project is also about. It's going to take a medieval building but make it work for the local community in a modern way.
It's worked really well in the pilot, so here we go on the next bit of the adventure.
So that's all the past, we don't forget about it, but it's time for the future to make it even better than it is now.
There are so many more stories to tell in this space, and our young people and our communities can be at the centre of telling those stories.